We ready. We ready. We ready. We ready. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, y'all? We are in another episode of Mama Let's Talk. I'm so excited to know that some of you have downloaded the last two episodes. I know the second one was the last one, I'm going to say, was pretty deep. It may or may not hurt someone's feelings. It may conjure up some old emotions that wasn't dealt with, and that's why they conjure up. But I do really appreciate your downloads, likes, and also to followings. So without further ado, we're going to introduce Boss Lady D, aka Miss Fabulous, aka DJ D-Ski, aka Mama Let's Talk, new show, and along with Mama Legend, Miss Bobby. Let's roll, y'all. Another episode. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get this thing started. Man, I'm so excited. Today is Sunday, September 17th. You know, your girl got a birthday coming up tomorrow. I may or may not do a show on my birthday. I know it's my day or whatever, but it's my gift back to my supporters because they've been tremendously encouraging, motivating, and things like that too. It made me get up and do something about life. So, particularly, we want to talk about relationships, all different types, marriage, friendships, business relationships, because I think sometimes we get those mixed up. I'm coming from a space of the week I had this week where it was a lot of business versus personal. Oh, God. Yeah, you know, like you can't differentiate and not communicate what type of relationship you are being in when you connect with someone. I've seen that a lot this week, and I'm really coming to the understanding that people don't have a true, clear understanding of what relationships are and how important it is to not only you, but the person you're connected with. And the persons that you have around you that you're connected to. It also affects the relationships that you are in prior to getting those other people around. Because it's like building an empire. You know, every business has chain of command. You know, I'm highly a stickler about business. But I've cultivated some of the best relationships. Some of the most talented people. Why? Because I wanted to connect with them. Awesome. I didn't just want what I needed out of them. Because everybody needs something. Everybody coming for something. Right. It was the fact of I needed to understand connection and the meaning of relationships. And I think people are getting those misconstrued. So I really want to talk about that. And let's break that down, Mama. Let's elaborate on that a little bit.
All right. I'm going to use the scenario of how you connect a light fixture in the ceiling to the wall. You have a ground wire, you have a red wire, and I think it's blue. Mm-hmm. And what happens is, if you don't separate these three wires and they touch, you're going to have an electrical fire or you're going to get shocked. And what happens is you guys, you young women, and I have to say that because I'm an older woman, but when I was a younger woman, I did the same thing. I kept connecting the ground wire, the red wire, and the blue wire together without separating them and realizing they had to have their own wire. Because the ground wire is what makes the blue wire and the red wire work. Mm-hmm. So you have to connect them separately, but then they all work together for our good. Just like God, the Holy Spirit, and Jesus. They all work together for our good. But where we would make our mistake at is that once we connect it and then we flip the switch and it don't work, we want to know what happened. Mm-hmm. Because we connected it wrong. But nobody wants to take accountability for the way that they connected it. They want to get mad at the fact that, well, maybe the house got bad wiring. Your house does have bad wiring on the inside. You know why? Mm-hmm. Because y'all are too busy focused on outside appearances and nobody is working on their inside stuff.
And And see, that's what
when you get married or when you get involved in a relationship with a man, both couples come with baggage. But if this is a new venture and it's going to lead towards marriage, he leaves his baggage out, you leave your baggage out, and you know what happens? You come together and make some new baggage and you try to work on it. But if the woman is still coming in listening to her friends, her family about her man, or the man is coming in listening to his friends and family about his woman, that's where the problem comes in at. Because when y'all met, y'all families wasn't with y'all. When y'all first slept together, your mama wasn't on the other side of the bed, her mama wasn't on the other side of the bed, and to clear it up, realistically, y'all was doing too fucking much. Seriously. Because families can destroy a marriage. You know how? Because when you get and have a problem, you go talk to your families. Then when y'all make up, guess what? The family's still mad. She said, say that again.
Amen, sister.
So what you need to do is, what you need to understand is that when you and your significant other have an argument, you need to keep that between you and your significant other. Now, if you got a best friend that you talk to and you know it ain't going to go no further than his ears and your ears or her ears and your ears, that's cool. But we all got to remember that before we met the person that we planned on spending the rest of our life with, we got childhood trauma. We got young age trauma.
Personal accountability.
We got personal accountability that some of us still ain't taking accountability for. Then we get in these marriages and we have this image in our head that, oh, I got married now. They're going to fix me. No, that's not how marriages work. Marriage is not made to fix you. This is not Play-Doh. If I mix the blue and the green, they're not going to stick together. They're not. That's not how marriages work. We're not Play-Doh. You can't, if you try to take your wife and make her this girlfriend that you liked her personality, and the other girlfriend you liked her body, and the other girlfriend you liked the way she moved in circles, and you want to put them all in one woman, you are creating a witch. You are not creating a woman. Because the minute that real woman comes out, you ain't gonna like her.
Right. And you ain't gonna want to talk to her.
Exactly. So what we need to understand is that relationships are like a merger. Because you're bringing two families together. But you get married and you think that your marriage is about you, and it's not about you.
Yeah.
It's not about you.
It's not.
Because you're bringing two families together that don't know anything about each other. That was raised up, both of y'all was raised up by two totally different set of relatives. So you don't have the same ways in the first place. And when a woman gets married, her desires are supposed to be towards her husband. And a man is supposed to love his wife like Jesus loves the church.
And let's elaborate on that.
Go ahead.
Say that again, what you just said. And I'm going to say what it didn't say. You said the wife is supposed to, her desires is to whom?
Supposed to be towards her husband.
Okay. Did it say? It didn't say towards your friend.
No.
Towards your ex-lover.
No.
Towards your problem with so-and-so at work.
No.
It said to your husband. So the outside seems to me, by saying that, what it's not saying, it's saying to me that don't got nothing to do with it.
And you don't ever talk about somebody.
That's going to be a problem.
Yes. Most
That's
definitely.
going to cause.
That's going to cause a big problem.
A spirit of prevention.
Right.
To have a thriving relationship. You know why businesses thrive? Like Fendi and Prada and Nike and all that? Because they have a relationship with each other. It's not just about making the money.
Right.
It's about having that connection.
Right.
People actually like you.
Right.
People actually want to be in your presence all the time. And we're making money together. That's exciting. Who wouldn't want to be a part of that? It's called community. Family is community.
It is. And family can make or break a marriage. Family can make or break a marriage.
Based on the connections that you made.
That's exactly
with the
right.
individuals that's in that organization. Family is organization.
Family is definitely organization.
This country was built on a family organization. And I'm going to leave it at that.
But the problem that we're having as black people and as people all over the world is that we are still letting society dictate to us how our relationships should be. You know, Tamaya brought out that song, we still run around the house and play like kids. We still stay up on the phone when he's not with me and I'm not with him all hours of the day and night. We still are like children with each other. But what has happened is that people have told us, oh, you're married now, you need to act like adults. Well, you know what? I heard a little boy say one time, he had went to first grade. And when he went to first grade, he had turned 6 years old a month after he was in first grade. Mm-hmm. So somebody said to him, act like a 6-year-old. He said, how can I do that? I've never been 6 before. So how can you act like a married man and a married woman when you've never been married before? You're learning. Your wife is learning. Your husband is learning. Learn together. Stop trying to learn separately. And stop listening to your friends.
Other people right. that are not in a relationship.
And even if they are in a relationship, you're not married
to
their
relationship is not your relationship.
And you're not married to their spouses.
No, you're not.
You may be married to Cinderella, and he may be married to Cruella de Vil. Mm-hmm. And you cannot compare Cruella de Vil to Cinderella because Cruella de Vil is still mad, and Cinderella is still trying to get the house clean.
And Ursula is still jealous. She ain't got no man.
Exactly. And Snow White is still asleep.
Her man is in a bubble.
Right.
Waiting to get out.
Exactly.
Because she done put a spell on him. He can't move. He can move, but in the bubble.
And then the other princess is still trying to kiss the frog.
It's so much knowledge in Disney.
We doing too much.
It's so much knowledge
those fairy tales,
Disney.
They read those fairy tales to little girls. Mm-hmm. And sometimes little boys be sitting there. But
and they
like
laughing.
that lady once said when she described Cinderella. Okay, Cinderella done got married. She married the prince, the man that she loved. But who's going to help Cinderella with her obsession to keep the house clean? Mm-hmm. She got maids and she got cooks and stuff like that. She's used to doing all that. Who's going to help her with that obsession? She can't spend 24 hours in the bed with her husband. And the princess is taking on new roles now. Now she's got to learn how to be disciplined and how to learn how to be a princess and a queen and stuff like that. And that's why I don't like when little girls say, when women say, this is my princess, this is my king. And then they go to school and they bad as all get out. And then people want to say, well, this is my king, this is my princess. Y'all already know that kings and princesses are disciplined.
But you know what? That's true. But also, we can't argue with the fact that there were some bad kings.
Yes.
There were some bad disciplined kings and queens that were only about evil and destroying shit.
I agree with that. But let me also say this. Ain't it time for us to break that curse?
That's if we want to. And that's the problem in relationships. I don't want to do this. I don't want to sacrifice that. I don't feel that I have to.
Okay, let me tell y'all this. When I first got married, I was 29 years old when I got married. I was 30 when I had my husband's child. Okay? That was a year later. And my baby was only a month old. I had 4 other kids before I married him. Mm-hmm. No, I didn't. I had 3. And my baby was only a month old. And I was sitting in my living room. I don't think I've ever told this story, but I'm just going to be honest about it. And you can take it any way you want, and you can think about me any kind of way you want to think about me. Mm-hmm. I was sitting in the kitchen, in the living room. I was watching something on TV because I'm a TV person. And I don't apologize for that. Sorry. I love my TV. Take my TV away from me. And my daughter already knows she got to wake up in the middle of the night and go to Walmart to get me another TV. So right. She keeps money to the side just in case somebody breaks her mama's TV.
I cannot do it.
So
I'm not doing
he comes into the living room after a year and 30 days of marriage and says that I'm tired of being a husband, I'm tired of being a father, and I'm tired of being a stepdad. So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to hold the tears back, and I'm telling y'all, it took everything in me not to punch him in the face. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I was still pregnant at the time he said this to me. So I said, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? I thought he was going to say, let's pray about it. Let's talk about it. He didn't say none of that. I looked down and he had his clothes packed in a bag, a garbage bag. In a garbage bag. Had him tied up and everything. Shoes, clothes, all of it. Kissed me on my jaw and walked out the door. And when I tell you the chair I was sitting in flew across that room so hard, and I was so mad. I was so mad at him. Now let's fast forward to now after I had my daughter, he came to the hospital to see me. But before he came, the man that married us came first. Mm-hmm. So the pastor, I will not say his name, he said, "Where's your husband?" I said, he hasn't come yet. He said he's on his way. He said, "I did not want to marry y'all because I knew y'all shouldn't be together, but I went against what God told me, and I married y'all anyway, and y'all are not together, are you?" I said, "No, sir." So he said, "I'm sorry. I have to take accountability for that because I should have said no. Mm-hmm. I deeply apologize." And I said, "And I apologize because I forced you, because I was your church member. I forced you to do something because I really believed at the time that I loved him.
Oh, come on.
But I had a misconception of what I thought love was in my head because I had watched all them love stories and all that was fake." So 3 hours after the pastor had left, my husband shows up. I'm excited to see him. I'm happy. He's smiling, walking through the door. And the baby was in the room with us. Mm-hmm. So he walked over. And I said, "Would you like to meet your daughter, Sabrina?" He said, "Oh, you already named her." I said, "Yeah, her name is Sabrina Louise Gordon." He was like, "Oh, my mom's middle name was Louise. Thank you for that." I said, "You're welcome, but I didn't name her after his mother. I named her after mine." So he picked her up. He kissed her on the jaw, and he laid her back down, and he walked towards the door. I said, "Where are you going?" And he said, "I'm leaving." He said, "Why do I need to stay? The baby's born now. I've done my job." My eyes was buck wide. And as he was walking out the door, I was crying crocodile tears. Oh. Crocodile tears. You did. So there was an old white nurse.
This is a job.
Okay. That came into the room after he left. She was outside separating medication. She heard the whole conversation. And I was crying. I said, "Oh my God, I lost my husband." And she walked in there and told me, she said, "You know what? I was married to my husband for over 25 years, and the day my last child got grown, that man walked out the door. I stayed till they got grown. I did my job. I'm gone." She said, "He ain't no good." She said, "Your best bet would be to leave him alone." Mm-hmm. She said, "And I'm not telling you this because he's black and I don't want to see you with nobody, because they always say that about us." She said, "I don't want to see you with a no good man, and he is no good." She said, "He walking in here with that Bible, sitting out there in the waiting room, reading that Bible before he go in there and talk to you." She said, "He full of mess."
Mm-hmm. And sometimes the trash will take itself out.
Right.
She said a garbage bag. Yeah, he was packing up the trash.
So he left, and she finally left out the room. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I was arrogant and in my feelings like anybody else. Mm-hmm. I said to myself, "How dare her come in here and talk about my husband?" Wow. She just mad because she ain't got one. That's exactly where my feelings was at.
Instead of looking at
I was all support. I was so doggone narcissistic at that moment. Mm-mm. I was really deep into my feelings. I said, "How dare her? I ain't even been married but a year and a month. And she gonna sit up here and talk about my husband. She don't even know him. She don't even know why we got married. She don't even understand what's going on." And then you know what? The Lord had to shut my mouth. Mm-hmm. The Holy Spirit stepped in and told me, "She know more than you do. You only been married a year. She been married for over 20. You know how heart-wrenching it was for her? For the man to walk out after 20-something years of marriage? She thinking she finally got her husband back. She thinking that she finna travel and have fun and enjoy her life with her husband. Now she's alone again." Mm-hmm. You girls, you young women, I don't care if you are a purple generation. You young women have met some good men. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you've had men that have taken care of you, have put you in homes, have bought you cars, have bought you clothes, have took every worry away from you. And you still didn't make it work. Because you don't want to do the work. "I don't want to do that. That's not my job. I seen my mama do this. I seen my mama do that." Let me ask you something. Did you see your mama begging for bread? Did you see your mama homeless? Mm-hmm. Didn't you see your mama getting out the bed, sliding her feet into something soft? Let me tell you what I slid my feet into. I slid my feet into broken down shoes when I was raising all 9 of my kids.
And Jordans ain't comfortable either.
And my daughter can tell you about a pair of black jeans I wore so long they started turning gray.
They did.
Because everything in my life, I surrounded it around them. Because I would not take accountability for what I had done to myself. And I poured that garbage into my kids. And my kids started saying to me out of their mouths as they got older, you were too talented. You were too smart. You should have known better. You should have did better. But I didn't believe I could do better. I didn't believe I was smart enough. I didn't believe that I was wise enough. I didn't think I could do it. And because I didn't think I could do it, I didn't do nothing. And because I didn't do nothing, I attracted the worst bums, hypocrites, garbage, toxic. I mean, the people in my life were worse than poison, than cyanide. They got all in my bloodstream, all in my vajayjay. They got all deep down in there.
Bunch of snakes and
because I was so busy, hooked
roaches.
On a feeling. I was hooked on believing that they loved me and that these relationships was going somewhere. And every time I got a baby, every time I got pregnant, I spent my whole 9 months alone. And then even after the baby was born, they came to view it like they view a dead body.
And then
to make sure that the baby has some of their similarities.
And you know it's your God. This is another thing with connections and relationships. You gonna know in your inner soul that that's the one for you, because you ain't gonna mind doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
It's automatic to you. It's kind of like breathing.
Right.
If you don't get that inkling in you, don't move too fast on it.
Right.
And that's what I learned through this process of relationships. I got a gut feeling that something ain't right. Something ain't right.
But let me tell you something else, though. Let me tell you about the...
And I'm not sure, and I'm kind of skeptical and all that. And some of y'all be in relationships, marriages, and you skeptical.
Right.
But you was skeptical before you got in a relationship, and you didn't take accountability that you wasn't ready to do that yet. And you wasn't honest with yourself, and you wasn't honest with the other person, and that's what makes it out of order.
And not only that, let's remember one thing too, that if you are dating him, and you've been dating him for some years, and he cheating and talking to other women and stuff like that, marriage doesn't stop cheating. You married a cheater.
Period.
And not only that, once you get married, you know that in order, let me tell you something. Let me say this. I've said this to my daughters, my oldest two. I never told the rest of my daughters because they didn't listen like my oldest two listened. It takes a lot of responsibility to be number one in a man's life. If you don't want that nigga, let me just be real. You don't want that nigga looking at another bitch, feeling with another bitch, thinking about talking to another bitch. You gotta be the head bitch in charge.
And you gotta stop speaking that shit into your life.
And you gotta do the work that it takes to be the head bitch.
You gotta be unskeptical.
You gotta be able to balance that checkbook.
Own it.
You gotta be able to keep that house clean.
Own it.
You gotta keep them kids in check.
Own it.
Whether they his, yours, or y'all.
Grown a little.
You gotta be able to let everybody know that walk through them doors that you are the woman in that house. That is your man, and they will not disrespect him, them kids, or you. It's a lot of work. You got to make sure that body of yours smell good every day. And when you open up your legs, whether you got on a pair of pants or a dress and no drawers, it's got to smell like roses out from under there. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know how to do that, get in contact with Boss Lady. She'll tell you.
Mm-hmm. Got tutorials and all that.
We got it. But let me say this.
And keep your mask clean.
Some of y'all got good men. And y'all say y'all don't want to do this and that. But my mama's generation used to say, where another woman won't, another woman will. Mm-hmm. Don't get it twisted, sister. There are women out there, they call them the cleanup woman. There are women out there that are watching what you don't do. So that when they get a chance to slip and slide up in there and get them, they're going to do everything that you wouldn't do, and they're going to build a relationship with him, and it's going to be good, and then you're going to be sitting back wondering, well, why is he doing all that for her? He didn't do that for me because she put in the work and you didn't. That's just like when you're in school and you work 6 weeks, and then when it's time to take the test, if you didn't study for it, then you flunked, but your friend that wouldn't go to parties and hang out was staying at home studying and doing what she needed to do. She get an A. You get mad. Why she get an A? She was there with me with the party. She was hanging out with my friends, but in between all that, she was still studying and you wasn't. So she put in the work. Now you want to be mad at her because she put it in the work and she acing everything and you ain't doing nothing. You at school running through the hallway. Boys tapping you on the butt. Boys pinching you on the breast and all the rest of that stuff. You interested in the wrong stuff. And instead of you doing what you're supposed to do, you driving and zigzagging in and out of traffic, and she following the traffic signs and all the rest of that. And you're not following the traffic signs. So now they done booted your car. They done towed it. You got tickets up the wazoo. You ain't got no car no more. You walking the streets and you riding the bus. She's still in her car. She asking you, do you need a ride? You don't want to ride with her because you saying that she thinks she all that in a bag of chips. No, she did the work. You didn't want to put in the work.
Right.
Stop being mad at bitches that's willing to put in the work. If
Yes.
you see a girl that wants to buy a $200 wig because she got a man that's willing to buy her a $200 wig, you don't get mad at her. You walk up to her and she got on lashes that cost $100 and something and makeup that's $300 something and she got somebody putting that on for her. You don't get mad at her. You come up here and say, how do you be able to look like that? I want to look like you looking. Can you hook me up with how you got like that? Can you teach me what you know? Instead of you being mad all the time and thinking that she thinks she all that. I walked up to a woman one time. She was a heavyset woman. And I told her, I said, I have heavyset women in my life that have very, very low self-esteem. Is there any way that you can teach me how to teach them about taking care of themselves? She gave me her information. We talk all the time. She tell me what to write down, what to say, without them getting offended because she used to be in her feelings. We doing this wrong.
In my feelings
We
generation.
doing this wrong. We cannot be mad at each other all the time.
Right.
If Boss Lady got a radio show and a podcast and she making money and she got people and connections and stuff like that, you don't get mad at Boss Lady. You don't snap on Boss Lady. You don't say bad comments and stuff like that. This is a black woman with a business and she got
Yes,
an
ma'am.
entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes,
what
ma'am.
you do is you reach out to her and say, Boss Lady, I'm not hating on you. I'm not mad at you. I just want to know, how do you do what you do? Can you help me do that? I ain't got no money. I don't know nothing about music. I don't know nothing about doing a podcast. ABC me through this so that I can get to X, Y, and Z like you did. And if I don't understand, is it okay for me to say, can you break it down a little bit more? But no, y'all so scared to say, I don't understand the information. That's why you didn't make it in school, because you were too scared to tell the teacher, I don't understand the information. If you don't know, you don't know. And guess what? God doesn't hold you accountable for what you don't know. But he does hold you accountable for what you do know. And what you need to do is get up off your high horse and get yourself together. We as black women, we don't stick together. If I'm going through a storm, give me your hand. So as I'm going through, and then you go through the storm, I'm going to pull you through it. And then you going to grab another woman's hand and you going to pull her through it.
Yeah,
And
that includes doing the work, though.
Right.
Back to that.
You got to do the work.
You can't skip that.
You got to do the
Stop
work.
trying to get out of it.
And you know what? It's not going to be easy.
It's not.
It's not going to be easy.
It's not.
And it's
But
going to
it's
take
worth
some
it.
work.
It's worth it, though.
And you know what?
I'ma say that.
You're worth it. And if it's hard, do it hard.
You ain't got to just let it
And
beat your ass.
And guess what? You're going to lose sleep.
You ain't going to let no bitch walk up to you and just start whooping your ass.
Right.
Do that with life.
Yeah. You're going to lose sleep. You're going to have uncomfortable nights.
Eyes heavy as hell.
You're going to have some days where you're going to have all these visions and thoughts and ideas in your head. That's why I taught my girls about journals. Write the shit down.
Got a big thick
Put it
one
on
right
paper.
here.
Write
I'll
it down.
give me some
If you're
more.
upset, if you're a mother with a whole bunch of kids, maybe you got 1 or 2, maybe you got 5 or 6, maybe you got as many as me, maybe you got as more than me. Write it down. Look, my 9 kids drove me crazy as fuck today. I can't stand little Susie, the little bitch. I want to choke her. Write that shit down. So in the morning when you see Susie, come here, Susie. Come give Mama a hug. You need to get that out your heart, because what you leave in your heart, you practice throughout your day.
And that's why
you
so
gotta
many
empty
single
out,
black
empty
mothers
out, empty out,
in
empty
prison
out.
for for life sentences because they didn't get that shit out and they took that shit on their child. I done heard stories about women putting their child in dryers, killing them, microwaves, ovens, leaving them in garbage cans. It was just one recently. This lady had a baby and she put it in the garbage can right after she had it. She cut the umbilical cord, just put it in the trash bag. And when they found that baby, it was crushed inside the big trucks. When they put it in the dumpster, that's where they found her at, and all that trash smashed.
And let's not forget about that doctor.
Because she didn't get whatever the fuck that was going on out.
That OB doctor. Let's not forget about that OB doctor that was mad that him and his wife didn't have kids. And when he pulled that woman's baby out, he pulled the baby's head off. Let's not forget about that. That's why y'all got to get that junk out of y'all system. Some of y'all don't want to go to God.
Or that girl that killed her husband because they was having an argument and she accidentally shot him. But to the law, you murdered a man.
Right. You don't get to take...
Now she's spending the rest of her life in jail and no husband.
Right.
Because they couldn't resolve something small.
Right. And it's always something small. People marry...
Somebody said that she caught him cheating with another man. Some people say he was cheating with a woman. Some people say they got into an argument that day and it escalated. We don't know what it was, but the man did.
It don't matter.
Because of emotional trauma.
Let me just say this. Let me tell you what emotional trauma will do. I am 63 years old, okay? I got depressed when I was 16. I wanted to go to a gymnastics meet because we went upstate to Madison. And my mother would not let me go. And I snuck and went anyway. And when I came back with the trophy and the medals and stuff like that, I didn't win first place. I think I was third or fourth or something like that on the uneven bar. I walked in the house, and when my mother seen that, she broke it. And that traumatized me. Mm-hmm. And I was very sad. And I grew up in a generation where you didn't talk back. You didn't say anything. I was terrified of my mom. So I didn't say anything. A lot of people tell me to this day, excuse me, if that had been me, I would have left. But like my oldest daughter told me, and my second oldest daughter told me, Mama, I get what you're saying, but where did everybody think you were supposed to go? That's what I wanted. This was 1976, okay? I was not just dealing with childhood trauma. I was also dealing with prejudice. I'm a dark-skinned black woman with short hair. I'm 4'11" and a half. I'm not even 5 feet tall yet. I'm 16 years old, and in a month from then, I was going to graduate high school. And I thought my mother was going to be proud of me. My mother got pregnant with me at 16, so she wasn't proud of me. She was mad. Like, why you can't be pregnant like I was? Why can't you F up your life like I did? That's the attitude she had with me. So every anger, every emotion, every feeling, everything she went through, she took it out on me because she never got that stuff out of her system. And I grew up not liking her. I didn't hate her. I just didn't like her. But I loved her so much and respected her because she got up and went to work every day. Mm-hmm. My mother was making $525 a week in the 70s as a black woman. She worked in a factory making die-hard batteries for cars. My mother was a strong bitch. But when it came to emotions and feelings, she didn't run off of that. My mother didn't run off emotion and feelings. Don't come to her with that mess.
Right.
She didn't run off of that.
Yep.
You ain't got no time to be crying and stuff. She didn't deal with that. You need to be strong. You need to be tough. And when I was growing up, I hated when she felt like that. Because I was a loving and emotional person. Mm-hmm. I was always like that. And I still am. But I understand why my mom was that way. Now I do. But mama's gone now.
Because that's all she knew.
Mama's gone now. I get it. Mm-hmm. I tell them girls at where I work at, you ain't got time to be crying and sitting here feeling sorry for yourself. You got work to do. If you want to keep your husband and you want to make your boyfriend your husband, you got work to do. Mm-hmm. You ain't got time to sit up there and talk about what he said to you last week. You be honest with him. Get up in his face, stand up like a strong woman, tell him, look, dude, you got one more time to say that to me and we can't be together. Because this ain't going to work. Because you will not downgrade me. You will value me. Because being with you is like having a driver's license. It's a privilege. It's not a right.
Right.
Outside beauty is a wonderful thing. But inside beauty is an accomplishment. Mm-hmm. And not many women accomplish that. You sitting up there wanting to get in a relationship thinking a man gonna fix you. No, men don't fix us. Men are not our self-esteem. They are not our self-worth. You are your own self-worth. You are your own rescue. You want to get successful? You want to be good in this life? You want somebody loving you and being there for you? You got to love and be there for yourself first.
Yes.
You going to fix everybody dinner, give everybody plate, and then you sit down and you ain't got no plate. My kids used to look at me like I was crazy. Mama, why you ain't eating? Oldest two used to get up and they used to say, well, Mama ain't eating because it ain't nothing in the plate. And you know what they would do? They would take half their food out their plate and put it in the plate for me. They don't know how many days I cried about that. Because sometimes it would be a whole week I would go without food. People used to say, she just don't want to be big like her mother. No, I was skinny raising them because I wasn't eating. I ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and toast because I did not want to take food out of my babies' mouths. I sacrificed. I put in the work. But in the long run, even though I sacrificed for them, I still did stuff wrong. I still should have whooped their ass more. There were some of them I had to fight tooth and nail to get them to go to school. I had one son that used to daydream in class. Now he's a great father and a wonderful husband. I had one son that thought he could run the school. He's a great father and a wonderful husband. I got another son that basically could have ran the school because he was a straight A student, but he was raised in fear, so he was fearful. And he's the only son that I got that looks like me.
Just like you.
But let me tell you something. He's a wonderful man now. He ain't nobody's punk. He will stand up in your face and tell you, you will not treat me like that. I love that about him. Mm-hmm. All my kids are straight strong. They are nothing like their mother.
Yeah,
and I tell them all the time. And I tell my kids all the time, if I catch you acting like me, we got a problem.
Right.
My daughter, when she first started this podcast, was sitting up looking crazy. I said, how you going to call yourself an entrepreneur and you look like that? You better get up. Get yourself in that bathroom, fix yourself up and sit in front of that radio. It don't matter if nobody can't see you. You know how you look. And every time she
and I couldn't get an attitude because I was interested in doing videos. So I didn't want nobody seeing me looking like I look.
Right.
I don't want nobody to see that look. Everybody doesn't deserve to see me in that style. I'm just going to put it that way.
That's right.
And the ones that have seen me, I'm always dressed the best.
And stop finding men that has only seen you at your best. Find you a man that can love you naked. Can you love me without my lashes?
No makeup.
Can you love me without my makeup? Can you love me without my lace wig?
With the cold in my eye.
Can you love me when I pull off my, what's that thing y'all call it? That waist trainer? Can you love
Shapers.
Me? Can you love me when my shaper come off and all my flabby fall out? Can you love me when I take off my socks and my feet look like hammer time?
And if you don't like it, can you contribute on how to make my guts tight? Yeah. Can we both go to the gym? Can you be encouraging? Can you be my coach? Right. We gonna be together. This is not, like I told somebody, we are not spending the night. We are spending our life.
Yeah. Can you love me when I get up in the morning and I'm scratching my ass and scratching the top of my head?
Stop treating your nigga
and I'm farting.
You spending the night and he finna go back to his crib. You finna go back to, you can't do that. That's over with. Unless you gonna do your marriage like that. And a lot of people do. And they're happy that way. But what's your system?
Right.
In your relationship, fuck everybody else. Because everybody else ain't got nothing to do with you. What's your system that works for y'all?
Right.
Because y'all got to look at each other every day. Y'all got to smell that morning breath. Y'all got to smell that doo-doo in that bathroom before you clean it and make it look good for guests. Y'all got to deal with that. And so y'all got to create a system that works for y'all, whether people are around or not. And that's the issue. I see it.
And not only that, when we having sex, my naked body don't bother you. When we laying up in the bed sweating out our weave and you sweating out all that crap that's in your hair and your dreads is all over the place and my breast is all over the bed like guard dogs, we loving each other up. But the minute I get out the bed and I throw on a sweatshirt and a pair of shorts and I got on some old raggedy flip-flops, you want to complain. But you weren't complaining last night when you was popping me on my ass.
The solution is walk around naked then.
And everything was happy. So that means you fine with me as long as I'm got my mask on. But the minute I put my mask on, you can't take my mask off. You can't love me naked. But you can love me naked in the dark.
But you knew that when you were dating.
Yeah, it ain't like we just had sex when we got married. Come on, man.
Because you're not doing that.
And guess what? I'm not going to get up at 12 o'clock midnight, fix my weave, put my my makeup on, brush my teeth. That was on Different World. I'm not doing all that.
Yeah, well, it's not
because
Hollywood.
One thing they said in that song was true. This is a different world from where you come from.
And Hollywood got makeup artists, hairstylists.
But I'm not doing that.
That come in and change you. That's why they flip the scene to something else. Because they getting ready for their next scene.
This lady next door is dying laughing at what we say.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
And the thing about it is, if that's how you feel, then let's do this. The next time I decide to remarry again, I'm going to lay my weave, my makeup, my waist trainer, my heels, and my lingerie on the altar. And you can give that the ring. You gonna push your...
Oh my God.
I'm going to lay that on
and I can't fit in no ring, but I could fit in a house though.
I can.
So we need to get over the ring.
Let me say this.
The ring disease.
My grandfather would be over 100-some years old if he was alive. Let me be honest with you. And I'm telling this to the men. You cannot put property under every woman's feet. So do not do that. You cannot merge everything with everybody. And you got to know that before you sign your name on the dotted line.
Yeah, because you're responsible for that signature. You signed it.
You're responsible for that. Because once you get married, and you got to change your name on your Social Security card.
That's the terms and conditions.
On your federal contract.
And y'all never read the terms and conditions.
You don't. What you don't do
with
is...
your happy ass.
You don't read the fine print.
Oh, that too. Because that's separate from the terms and conditions. As you notice, when you get to the bottom, the smaller the shit get. That's the shit that you need to be reading. And why is it smaller? But that's a whole nother episode.
It's smaller because we don't read stuff. And you need to invest in a magnifying glass. Mm-hmm. You also need a magnifying glass in your brain. Some of y'all get married in your 20s. Some of y'all get married in your teens. The ones that's married in their teens, that's a whole nother avenue. The ones that get married in their 20s and in their early 30s, you niggas know about relationships. Y'all done been in a couple of them. And y'all know why.
The thing is, did you learn anything?
Yes. And y'all know why they didn't work, and some of y'all know why they did work. Some of y'all want to sit there and say, I don't know why he left me. I didn't do nothing. He left me to be with her, and I didn't even do nothing. Stop lying to yourself and stop lying to other people. Mm-hmm. Nobody is in a relationship by themselves. No. If you got a relationship with yourself, I'm happy for you. Because I ain't been in a relationship in a long time, and the relationship I got with Bobby is the bomb. Because I'm telling you, I'm loving her.
Yeah.
But if I had loved her 40-something years ago, I would still be with that same man.
Yeah.
But I didn't love her.
Because men love that.
They do.
When you about your shit and you ain't coming with a whole bunch of bullshit and emotions and feelings, it's time and a place for that.
Right.
And he's going to be that shoulder and that wall to cry on and all that shit. But you know how to balance it and you about that regardless of what you're dealing with, that attracts a good man.
It does. But what else attracts a good man is not just physical strength, but mental strength. Mm-hmm. You got to be mentally strong enough to be with a man, I don't care if it's 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, to know that if he walk off, you going to be all right. Mm-hmm. And that if he come back, you still going to be all right.
Because was you all right when you were dating? Were you all right?
That's the thing.
What was you looking for?
And what
was you doing?
Did you work on you before he came?
Yeah, when you were dating. As you were dating, were you still working on you? Or was he your distraction of doing a little bit less than what you were doing when you was completely in your zone by yourself?
And stop telling your friends, well, I don't understand why he did this and why he did that. And I don't understand why
you are giving your husband away.
You are also giving information away. And why he was the way he was.
You're like, here, bitch, take him, because I don't know what to do with him.
And while he was doing all that, let me say something else to you. Your relationship with him.
You're playing a dangerous game, sweetheart.
Is your relationship with him. It's none of your friends' business. Because what they're doing is when they're giving you advice, they're giving you advice based on the relationships that they've had, because that's right. The only place that they can get their information.
And you need to figure out if it was a thriving relationship.
Or if it was a failed relationship.
Yeah.
And if it was a relationship that's still working, they need to be honest with you and say, hey, it didn't start off like that. Because people...
Or we still working on that. We still have an issue with finding a common ground and
right.
disagreeing without
being disagreeable,
disrespectful.
Right. And I know that a lot of people have. Damn, here go my damn toothpicks.
Oh my God!
I didn't know they was in here. Now I remember putting them in here.
Distraction.
Right. Okay, but the thing is that the toothpick and the screw is a wonderful scenario.
Come on with it. Then.
All right. When you are in a relationship, when you first start out, you drill that first hole. Okay? When you're putting a screw into the wall, it's real tight. But over time, as you screwing in and out, it gets loose. And then you get to the point where you be like, oh, it's too loose. I want something a little tighter. Mm-hmm. So old school used to put toothpicks in the hole. And then they would screw the screw back in there and it would stay in there. Sometimes it would be so doggone tight they couldn't get it back out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But we did the work. We used different stuff to make the screw stay in. And that's what has happened to us. We have gotten to the point where we have become complacent in our thinking. Mm-hmm. We don't want to do the work because we've watched too many videos.
And we still sitting on that same old ass information. You got to constantly learn new things.
But what we're doing is we're watching too many TikToks. We're watching too many videos. We're watching too many Netflix.
Pathetic.
We're watching too many things that has clouded our judgment. And we as women, we think in circles and men talk in straight lines. So we got all these voices in our head telling us different stuff. And that's what happened to me last week. I had so much stuff going on in my head that I got discombobulated and I got turned all the way around. And when I get like that, I call Boss Lady and I'll be like, look, I'm having a real effed up day. And I need you to talk me through it. And she'd be like, okay, mama, what's going on? And then I tell her.
Yes, see, that's how you do it. Ask questions. Right. I've talked about this on my podcast. I put videos up for that. Don't just zoom in. And that's what a lot of y'all is doing. Oh, I'm going through so. Girl, me too. And stop doing that shit.
Let me tell you about a funny episode that happened between me and Boss Lady before she ever had her podcast.
And I'm finna shut up and be quiet too.
She lives on 40th. And I was at home with her 8 siblings. Okay?
Oh my God.
And they were driving me crazy. So she had called me. And she was going through something. And when I got on the phone, when she started talking, I said, wait a minute. I said, first of all, I'm going through something too. She, whoa. She said, Mama, what's going on? And I told her what was going on in the house. And she said, Mama, where you at? I said, I'm on my way to your house right now. And I came over there and I started snapping. Everything in the house that could go, just like Murphy's Law, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Within a curse of, she hadn't even been gone that long. And I told her, I'm staying here. And I had a big old couple of boxes with me. Mm-hmm. I had packed up my shit. Mm-hmm. And she went home. And she went to the house. And she talked to them. And she told them, she said, Mama packed up all her stuff and she had my house. Well, what did and her second older sister, God forgive me, I almost said her name. Her second older sister said, well, what am I supposed to do with all these kids? And Boss Lady told her, well, I guess you're going to have to raise them because Mama done had it. I'm telling you, she is packed. And she had me laughing because she said her sister went in there and started packing up stuff too. She said, I'm going with you and Mama. They was going to leave the kids with my oldest son. And he said he was going to raise them, but he was going to beat the hell out of them on the way. So then they finally, them three decided to go in the room and shut the door. And the other kids was clowning. They was in there having a whole conversation. And to this day, I still don't know what they talked about. All I know is that when my daughter came back home, she called me a cab. Because, yes, they didn't have Uber and Lyft then.
40-minute wait.
And she sent me home. She sent me home. And I went back home. And when I went in that house, my oldest son and my oldest daughter, because my oldest had left, but this is my second oldest daughter, they both hugged me. And the kids was all sitting down in front of that TV. And I'm telling you, I didn't have no more days like that. But then a month after that, she was going through some stuff. So I packed up a whole bunch of stuff that I had took a lot of stuff out the house that I didn't want them to have. And I went over there and I decorated my daughter's house and I cleaned that house up. And I will let my daughter tell you about the rest when she came home. So go ahead. And I paid the rent. And when you came home, you did what?
I went on. I was first of all, let's backtrack that day. Because if I don't explain that day, it's not gonna make sense. And not you're gonna be like, why was you even mad? Because she did such and such for you. So I don't want no person on here trying to, fly and roach me about what nothing. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Being ungrateful and stuff like that, right? So, I just found out that I'm getting laid off soon. The business is closing down for good. They're not going to reopen and go to another location, which I later on found out they did. And by then I didn't give a damn, right? And my check was short due to the fact I think they had to cut some hours or something because they were in the process of shutting down. So I didn't have my full rent. I had my bill money. I didn't have my rent money. And y'all know what that meant. And I didn't know how the hell I was going to do it. And I was thinking all kind of things. Like she said earlier, I'm all over my head. My thoughts is all over the place. One thought is on the left. The other thought is on the right. The other thought is top. And the other thought is bottom. That's where I pretty much was. And they all circling around me. And I was real freaking irritated. Right? So I goes to the front desk and I'm finna break down what happened. I said, I had the worst day of my life. And she was pretty cool. We talked a lot. And she was like, why? Because she was one of the administrators for another business that was downstairs from where I stayed at. So I was in an organization where they help people get on their feet and they teach you how to do business. And they help you with your kids if you had any, daycare services, transportation, all that good stuff. It was a great program for single moms. You had to be a single mom to even apply for this particular apartment. And that was my situation. I was a single mom with a child, not married, and I was a working mother. So it was also for workers that worked. So if you were on welfare or collecting food stamps, that was cool, but you had to get a job within the first 12 months. Other than that, you would have to move out and find other arrangements, but they would help you through that process. It was beautiful. So I'm trying to explain to her what the situation was before I could start. She was like, you know what? You're all set for the rent this month. Everything's paid up. You don't have to worry about anything. I'm like, what? Whoa, wait a minute. What you mean everything paid up? I ain't even pay you yet. She said, no, ma'am, you did not. And that is true. But unfortunately, your mom came over and, picked up the tab of what you owe plus what, because I had owed something for back rent because this job was flip-floppy. It would pay me a full check and then the following 2 weeks it would give me cut hours. And they wouldn't explain it to me. And I was young and I didn't understand to go to your boss and figure out why your hours is being cut and you're not being notified. Because whatever clocked in hours you worked, you were supposed to get that according to the state. And I worked at the state at the time. So it was a lot going on with that versus hearing that. And I'm like, I took it as somebody else moved in my house. Like, I didn't hear her say, my mama actually paid the rent, paid the fees that I owed due to the fact that my checks were short. Because I had to, what my mistake was, I didn't report that my income was up and down. Because the apartment building went by your income. It was before Section 8 even got popular. So I was the first to discover not only a Section 8 program, but it also helps specifically for single mothers and children. The WIC was involved. It was a lot of other resources that was connected to it. It was a great program, including daycare services. And you worked it out with the provider, what you could pay with your income that you work with. And they went with your income. And daycares don't do that. It's a flat rate. If you don't pay it, you can't go to their daycare pretty much. So with all that going on, I go upstairs and I put the key in the door. I said, okay, my key worked. Did nobody move in yet? Because I'm thinking about packing my shit. And I might have to pack up and go home my damn self. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting up here tripping. And it's TVs and people talking. But I didn't know this until I opened the door. I'm like, it's niggas in my house? Wait a minute, huh? Come on now. It's people in my house. Why, when I was downstairs, she didn't say that she moved them in already type shit. I'm already thinking on how to pack and where the fuck I'm finna go. I was upset, actually. But looking back, I was responsible. I was a full-time student going to nursing school. I had a job, but it didn't work out. And my house was a place of rest, peace. You can get it out. You can talk, just like my place is now. You can talk. You can vent. You can get things out. And that's just a clear example of what a relationship is. You should be able to be you in everywhere, in any situation. And if you can't do that, and you feel like you got to have an inkling of you can't do that, I would not move on that too fast. It could change. It could evolve. And another thing, you got to get to know each other. You got to know what makes a person tick. And really study it. And really get into it. Because you're considering making this person your person the rest of your life. It's like, it's not spend the night. It's spend your life. And we got 3 requirements of a good relationship. And I'm going to click on this. It's a 5-minute video from the School of Life. Further reading, you can read the blog. They got their thing there. I can copy and paste it in the chat room so you can refer back to it. But I wanted to share this one because this one is pretty good. So let's get it.
And disappointed by...
These ads gonna come first. You know what I know that.
To me, culturally,
by the person they've chosen to share their lives with. If pressed for deep...
Just gonna go back. Okay, what are you doing? Give me some educational rate. It's 5 minutes.
Many people, after they've been in a couple for some time, will privately admit that they are, in many ways, frustrated and disappointed by the person they've chosen to share their lives with. If pressed for details, they will have no difficulty coming up with a list. Their partner, they might complain, is too loyal to their irritating family, or doesn't share their views on the layout of the living room, or never wants to go on camping holidays, or plays tennis every Wednesday evening no matter what, or doesn't like Moroccan food, or doesn't share their enthusiasm for 19th century Russian novels, or has a habit of adding actually to every second sentence when it's actually redundant. As the list gets longer, they sigh. They still love their partner, and they long to be happy together. It's just that it seems impossibly complicated to make this relationship work. What's driving the frustration is not that they've sadly fallen for an idiot as a mate. It's rather that we have all inherited needlessly complicated ideas of what a relationship is supposed to be for.
Yes.
We are told that love is meant to involve the almost total merger of 2 lives. We expect that a loving couple must live in the same house, eat the same meals together every night, share the same bed, go to sleep and get up at the same time, only ever have sex with, or even sexual thoughts about each other, regularly see each other's families, have all their friends in common, and pretty much think the same thoughts on every topic at every moment.
What a myth.
It's a beautiful vision, but a hellish one too, because it places an impossibly punitive burden of expectation on another human. We feel the partner must be right for us in every way, and if they're not, has to be prodded and cajoled into reform. But there is another perspective. Relationships don't have to be so complicated and ambitious if we keep in view what in the end actually makes them fulfilling. If we boil matters down, there might really just be 3 essential things that we want from a lover. Firstly, kindness. A partner who is gentle with our imperfections and can good-humouredly tolerate us as we are. Secondly, shared vulnerability.
Yes.
Someone with whom we can be open about our anxieties, worries, and the problems that throw us off balance. Someone we don't have to put on a good front for. Someone around whom we can be weak, vulnerable and honest, and who will be the same around us. Thirdly, understanding. Someone who is interested in and can make sense of certain obscure features of our minds, our obsessions, preoccupations, and ways of seeing the world, and whom we are excited to understand in turn. If we have these 3 critical ingredients to hand, we will feel loved and essentially satisfied, whatever differences then crop up in 100 other areas. Perhaps our partner's friends or routines won't be a delight, but we will be content. just as if we lack these emotional goods and yet agree on every detail of European literature, interior design, and social existence, we are still likely to feel lonely and bereft. By limiting what we expect a relationship to be about, we can overcome the tyranny and bad temper that bedevils so many lovers. A good, simpler, yet very fulfilling relationship could end up in a minimal state. We might not socialize much together. We might hardly ever encounter each other's families. Our finances might overlap only at a few points. We could be living in different places and only meet up twice a week. Conceivably, we might not even ask too many questions about each other's sex life. But when we would be together, it would be profoundly gratifying because we would be in the presence of someone who knew how to be kind, vulnerable, and understanding. A bond between two people can be very deep and important precisely because it's not played out across all practical details of existence. By simplifying and clarifying what a relationship is for, we release ourselves from overly complicated conflicts and can focus on our urgent underlying needs to be sympathized with, seen, and understood.
Deciding whether to stay in or leave a relationship is one of the trickiest and most consequential decisions we can face. Our stay or leave card game can help us towards an answer. Click now.
Wrong button, but you know what I meant. Clapping. Yeah, I had to put that in there. I always put some type of educational resource.
Right.
So that
it
matches what we've been discussing. Because people complain about this, but how many of us are reading books, are actually doing research, are actually trying to learn to overcome it instead of cope with it? I think we've been coping with this long enough and staying in a bad relationship when they could actually make the changes and arrangement. It could be a great one.
Let me say this to every young woman listening. Whether you live in this country or you stay in another country or you live in this city or you stay in another city. If you want to get more education on a relationship, you got to read. Because one thing they used to say about black people, if you want to hide stuff from us, put it in a book. Because they know that we don't read. We don't take out the time to educate ourselves. There's books about sex. There's books about having sex with your partner. There's books about how to have sex with your partner if it's uncomfortable. There's books about how do I tell my partner when I want sex. They don't just have it in a book. They're in magazines.
They got workshops.
They got workshops about it. They got blogs about it. But see, everybody is so caught up in this. What if people find out? What the hell do you care if they find out?
That's the problem in your relationships. Other people that you're not in a relationship with.
You know what I told my kids one time?
Jeez Louise.
I put a list of rules up on my wall once.
Come on.
And I told my kids, everybody has something to do every day. And you know what happened at the end of the week when nobody did what they were supposed to do? I said, well, if it wasn't your job, and it wasn't your job, and it wasn't your job, then who was supposed to do it? I said, if nobody do it, then how does it get done?
Right.
And then all my kids just sit there and looked at me crazy. And my oldest, just like now, the most verbal one that has the podcast, said flat out, I'm not doing everything. And she still does that, even today. And you know what? When she was little, I didn't like that, so I used to tell her to shut up. Yes, now that she's grown, it does make sense. But let me be honest and say sometimes it's not needed, but Dee Dee is Dee Dee. So let's just keep it real. She's who she is. I love her imperfections. She loves my imperfections. Yes. She know mama is mama, and I know that she is she. And we talked about our relationship.
I don't always agree with it. You know, sometimes it pisses me off. But you know I say something about it. Right. It's that. I don't love her any less.
Right. And I don't love her any less. But see, let me just keep this real. Our relationship took work, okay?
It did.
This relationship
that we got always right here.
This relationship used to be fire.
Yeah, we wasn't always right here, yo.
Brimstone.
We wasn't always right here, yo.
Well, we was not always right here, y'all. There was a time when she wanted to kill me and I wanted to string her up by the ceiling fan. Let's just keep that real.
Shit's crazy. Huh?
But to be honest with you, there was times we sat down in our old house And I was the one that reached out to her as her mama. And I said, I'm sick of the way our relationship is. We got to fix this because it starts at the head.
And I was like, for real? What?
Right.
But she was a parent. I'm going to keep it real before you finish. I don't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead, baby.
She is the kind of mother that people rarely have. Where she will whoop you and she will feel bad about it. And she would apologize.
But I also
because she figured out she was wrong for why she whooped me, because what I used to say or said made sense. I was too young to articulate it like that, but it was. And it pissed her off because how the fuck you think like that at that age? I didn't think like that at that age. So you whooped me, putting it on the fact that you were conditioned that was disrespect in your generation.
Amen.
But you understood that it's not disrespect. She is actually expressing, back to the 3 relationship abilities: sympathy, vulnerability, and accountability. She did those. She sympathized with what I said. She didn't like the way she was treated when she tried to express herself to her mother, and she had to think about that. I'm doing the very thing to my daughter that I didn't want done to me.
Right.
So I apologize. And a lot of mamas that's out there listening, you need to think about that, because all them whoopings wasn't deserved.
Right.
They wasn't.
And also think about this too. When you have daughters and they come to you and you be in a situation and they watching your life and they say stuff to you like, you need to get out of that, mama, because that's some fucked up shit.
Right.
And you be mad because you think of it as disrespect. Like, how she gonna tell me that I'm in a messed up relationship and I'm the one that's grown? Like, get out of my face. That's the way.
But your relationship is affecting me as a child.
Right.
And you're disrespecting me.
Right. And see, the thing is, my mom's generation, they didn't do that. They didn't disrespect our childhood. They didn't do anything in front of us.
And a lot of y'all doing everything in front of y'all.
Right. Like a lot of y'all is having sex with
They're not mentally capable of doing everything. And if they're going to do that, you need to be there instructing them and teaching them the right way to do that.
And not only that, let me just keep this real. Y'all nasty. Like, if y'all want to have sex, y'all don't need to be having sex with y'all kids. And people say, why you having sex with your kids in the house? First of all, bitch, they can't go nowhere. Second of all, shut your damn door. Put a knife in the door if you ain't got no lock. Okay, we black folks. Let's just keep this real. White folks, y'all can do the same thing. Put a lock in your door. If your lock don't work and you ain't got no knife, put a chair up under the knob.
And explain to y'all kids, this is how you got here.
And you don't have to tell them that you're having sex. This is daddy and mama time.
Yep.
That's all you got to say. When they get old enough for you to do the sex thing with them, then you can keep it raw and real. But right now, let's keep it clean and cute.
But you got to be disciplined and have some consistency in your house where your kids will respect that. They won't knock on the door. They not screaming and yelling outside the door. They not running their ass around the house, tearing up and destroying the property.
You better do like
because they know better when you come out that room. It's going to be a problem if my house tore up because you don't want to wait till I come out.
Not only that, let me tell you something. My kids didn't do that. I'm going to tell you why. First of all, I made my kids a whole bunch of snacks and they had movie day every day. When I wanted to have something to do with a man, if he was in the house, a lot of times they didn't even know I had a man in there. And when they did know, they had snacks in front of them and a big old TV. And they were sitting in front of that TV eating them snacks. And by the time they got through with this kind of snacks I made, I come out that room, he go out the front door. They was in the living room sleep.
But see, we was kids back then. These kids, I have to say this.
Right.
These kids will be full of video games, full of cell phone, full of toys, and still nosy.
And let me tell you something about them damn.
So some of y'all gonna have to get a hotel for the night and get somebody to watch them kids. Because these kids is overriding a lot and running y'all household. Y'all don't even know it.
Let me tell y'all.
It's the way you do stuff.
Let me tell y'all something else.
Because we didn't know mama had nobody until he was over there at the house one day. Right. And we like, oh, that's the boyfriend. Or, oh, that's the male voice we heard in the house. Because we wasn't thinking about all that. These kids got more, we wasn't exposed to a lot of stuff. TV was TV for adults. TV was TV for kids. But our parents put us in front of what was appropriate.
And if you are going to let them watch a movie that's not appropriate for them, like my girls wanted to watch that movie where she was a prostitute. What was the name of it? Pretty Woman. My girl.
Angel.
Yeah.
It was Angel.
Yeah, it was Angel. But I sat down with my girls
That was a good movie.
and I explained a lot of stuff to them because they had questions during the movie.
Right.
So I explained that movie to them because now there are girls actually living like that. And there are a lot of girls that are living that way and doing what Angel did in that movie. They don't know that that movie exists. And what y'all are doing is y'all turning them on to loving hip hop and all this kind of stuff. And that stuff is not reality. Those women and men on there are getting paid to make us black people look stupid, crazy, and dumb. Like she said,
and they're not on the streets like Angel was either.
Right.
They safe. They got security. They got people that's gonna break up a fight. Angel had to fight them streets alone in real life.
Right.
And that's how they depict it.
Angel was not grown.
Everything's so phony and fake and full of jewelry and glamour and money till reality just walks right out the door. But it slap your ass in the face because, for one, you ain't living like that. That's a celebrity.
Right.
You're not.
Right.
You're not in the same tax bracket or space.
Right.
To live that kind of lifestyle. And you, by your finances is messed up because you copying some money you not making.
Right. And also, too, give your kids a dose of reality. You know what I did to my two oldest girls? They used to say, they might not remember this, well, Boss Lady probably will. They used to say, dang, Mama, why you be buying this? And why you be buying that? And why don't you buy this? And why don't you buy that? So the next time I got some stamps, I used to get a lot of stamps because I had a lot of kids. I took them stamps, they were paper stamps then. That's before the card came. And it was a big old envelope.
Stamps. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
It was a big old white envelope that they used to come in with my name on it.
You could buy hot food with those too.
So what I did was, I took them, and a lot of mothers told me I was crazy when I did it. I took those stamps, and I laid them in Boss Lady's hand. And I said, and Boss Lady will tell you I said it. I said, since I'm not doing it right, you go buy food for the month for the family. You know, she said she was all confident, just like she is now. She said, oh shit, okay. I'm telling you, Mama, I got this. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I said, but there's one stipulation. And she said, what's that? I said, you got to go to the same store as me. She said, yeah. I'm going to go there. What store was it, babe? Was it Pick and Save? Or was it Save-A-Lot?
When we went
on 38th. Was it Save-A-Lot?
That was Save-A-Lot, the old Pick and Save.
Yeah. So she went to Save-A-Lot. And let me tell you something. You're going to enjoy the experience better if I let her tell the story. So I'm going to let her tell it. When her and her second oldest sister walked into Save-A-Lot and started shopping for the family for 1 month. Let me tell you.
Oh, she snapped so hard. This is the reason why she is thriving in her business, because we felt like we shouldn't be in this kind of situation. It got to be something better, because we spent all them stamps trying to get the basics like bread, water, and butter, because that was my mom's main thing. Bread, water, and butter.
Remember, they didn't have bottled water back then.
They didn't have no bottled water, so you had to buy these WIC jugs that WIC had.
Right.
But if you didn't have WIC checks, see, y'all under the comfort of COVID. We didn't have that. They wasn't finna go out on price or make a certain product to fit your needs. You either bought what was on the damn shelf or your ass didn't have it.
And not only that, remember, it was 9 of y'all.
And then it was 9 of us, and every kid wanted their own damn bottle. So that's 9 gallons of water. You'll be drinking out the faucet because we wasn't doing that.
And then remember, some of them were babies, so they couldn't eat everything.
So we had 5 gallons we had to get because they were babies. But we just let the other ones argue over the other one.
And then tell them what you went through bringing it home because we didn't have a car.
Then, mind you, we said 5 gallons of waters, about 6 to 10 bags. Because we were able to situate the bags where we could carry it.
Because we had a shopping
cart.
Because
Mama taught us how to do that. And then we had that shopping cart. But, you know, all those bags don't fit in there. Plus, some of them get ripped, drop the damn groceries, and then we got to go back and chase the apples and the bananas down the damn street. Some of y'all don't know what struggle is. Y'all got it so good. Y'all forgot what struggle is. You don't even know what it is to do it anyway. And that's why you can't map out in this relationship, because you wasn't taught to map out anything.
Now tell them about how
but when you in survival mode, that shit make you work some shit out.
And then tell them about how y'all got home and nobody wanted to bring the groceries in the house.
Then we get to the house. Excuse me, it was a slight interruption, but I'm back. We get to the house and
it's okay, baby.
I put the key in the door. I gotta close my eyes when I say this because I gotta visualize it too.
Yeah.
I put the key in the door.
The dog runs out.
The dog knows. I ain't even cracked it. Man, in a minute. I ain't even cracked. See, that's what I mean. In a minute, man. And I'm telling the dog, in a minute, move back. Now, the dog is trained. I don't have one of them. We went the first 2 dogs we didn't train, and all we had was shit, boo-boo, and bark, and we ain't like that. So this dog was fully trained to come outside to the car and tap his paw on the window to let the driver know to open the trunk. But we also had a trained dog that will come and kind of put his arm around the gallons of water and bring it in the house. This goofy runs outside and just keeps running like he don't know what to do. Then the kids is chasing the dog instead of forgetting that we stand in the door constantly screaming to the top of our lungs, we have the bags. Can you bring the bags in the house? Forget the damn dog. Bring the bags in the house. So me, as the leader, as always, it's irritating that a motherfucker. I gotta do everything in my feelings. I'm still a child, so it's okay for me to be in my feelings about that. Right. Just for a minute, but this taught me how not to be in my feelings because it stops you from getting the goal accomplished. It stops you from getting the job done.
And also taught you that mama was not.
The longer that we gotta chase this damn dog and tell y'all to bring these bags in the house, my meat finna start bleeding into the bag. Then we gotta clean that shit up. This is all before mama gets home. Why you acting stupid? Why you think that life is just gonna pause because you acting stupid?
And had you have not said nothing to me, I would have kept going to the store. But y'all didn't think knew what I was doing. Let's keep that real.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay.
We thought we could do it better type shit. I'll give you that.
Yep.
Because you made it, to us, it was complicated. It's just going to the store, getting the damn bags, and bringing them home. Because we watched our grandmother a lot. She got a car. Right. She could put the fucking bags in the back of the seat, the trunk, whatever, pull off. She ain't carrying shit.
Yeah.
She ain't climbing no steps. She ain't doing none of that because she made that plane before she went to the store. And that's what y'all got to do with these relationships. You got to say that shit. I ain't carrying shit. I ain't walking up no steps. I ain't blah, 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 blah. You need to say that while you're dating.
Right.
Granny knew what the hell she was going to get. She had a list. She had a calculator. And she had her checkbook.
And her coupons.
And yes, she took out the time to clip every single one. And don't clip the barcode. I'm going to beat your ass. Because she would make us help her do it.
Yep.
It was organized.
When I did it, nobody wanted to help me.
Mama, the thing was, Granny was so much that I didn't want to do it again.
No, but I didn't ask you, baby. You wasn't living with me then.
This was sis words. Sis was like, she doing too much. So much so that I don't want to do it again.
I get it.
I will cut a couple and use it one at a time. I said, sis, they expire. You can't do that. Why everything's so hard? Somebody is always wet. Somebody always crying. Somebody always got to cut some shit. Somebody always got. She ain't had a patience.
Somebody always hungry.
So she started snatching kids and putting bags physically in their hand and pushed them in the house with the bag. And that's how we got the bags in the house.
Then after we get the bags in the house, they would go through the bags and get the stuff they like. Then they had to chase them through the house to get the snacks.
Oh my God. Why? First of all, you didn't have to carry it home. You didn't have to do the same thing. Y'all spouses, y'all be talking about in this couples and stuff. You ain't have to do this. I had to do everything. You didn't have to do that. You didn't structure it.
Right.
You didn't put a plan in place. You didn't discuss how we were going to do this and make it smoother. You just assumed
that it was going to work.
That a motherfucker was just going, oh, I'm going to put the bags in the car. Oh, I'm going to put the soda over here. Oh, I'm going to put the ketchup in the refrigerator. No! You have to talk.
Right. Because all they did that day was go to the store.
That's it.
They never said to their older brother, to their brothers, don't go nowhere because we're going to need somebody to carry the bags in.
These lovable brothers of mine are at the park.
Right.
Playing basketball up the street. I got to look for you around the corner. You ride somebody else's bike. The other boy mad because you got his bike. The other girl mad because you lost her rope because y'all was playing double dutch and all this and that. And can we get the damn bags in the damn house?
And then the problem was that the kids that were left in the house shouldn't have been alone because they were too small to carry bags in. So so Boss Lady got 6 bags. Her second oldest sister got 6 bags.
Mm-hmm.
That was fine. They got the bags in, but then they had to go back to the shopping cart, because they had to bring the bag of dog food in. Then they had to go back and get the milk out of the.
So we had to teach the daughter drag his damn bag in the damn house. You ain't for the chill either.
But let me tell you the lesson that I was trying to teach them. And I'm gonna tell you the lesson I was trying to teach them, and then Boss Lady's gonna tell you the lesson she learned from that. I not only gave them food stamps, I gave them my WIC checks as well. So not only did they have $1,500 in stamps, they had 7 WIC checks, because I had 4 kids that were under 5 at the time that they took on this project, that they told me to my face that they felt like I was doing it wrong. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not criticizing my daughters. But my daughters felt like the food was going too fast.
It was.
So when they bought the stuff themselves, and I told the kids, I said, okay, this food came out of your sister's pockets. They looked at me shocked, and I told both of them not to say nothing. So they stayed at home for a week because they was
and we had to stand a certain way. So when Mama give us that eye contact, which black families don't use no more, that look, when you know you done fucked up, and they give you that look and you stop, that one, or don't say nothing, look, type shit. You know what that look is?
And then this happened on a Monday. When Friday came and all the kids went to school, they stayed at home to talk to me.
Yeah.
And they both apologized. They said, Mama, they went through this food so fast. We still had half of the 1,500 left. I actually didn't give them the whole 1,500. They did not know that they only took
we thought we blew that. I'm like, this ain't enough.
So I ain't gonna lie to you. I gave them the rest of it. Then when they went back the second time, they brought different food.
She did that. She did it like that Mama did on Friday. Make it enough. Like what?
That when they came back, when they went the second time, they didn't buy all that pretty shit. They bought chicken pot pies. They bought hot dogs. They bought, what you buy, Didi? Hot dogs, chicken pot pies. What you buy? Everything was quick.
The biggest bag of French fries, the biggest bag of chicken nuggets, tenderloin, cucumbers, fruit, vegetables, bag.
And no snacks.
Yep, you was going to have a fruit and a vegetable with every chicken nugget. You was going to have a fruit and a vegetable with every sandwich. You was going to have a fruit and a vegetable with your peanut butter and jelly and whatever else the hell you was eating, fried chicken, whatever. It was a fruit and a vegetable.
Because they went through 5 gallons of milk, the boys, and the babies didn't have no milk to drink. So they had to go back to the store.
We'll order a salad in a minute now. The restaurant paid $11.99 for it showing up. And be full. Because we ate like that as kids because we didn't have burger meat. We couldn't afford chicken. We couldn't afford steak. My mama don't even eat steak, so you sure the hell wasn't getting that. It was pork, chicken, and beef.
When they had chili Philly cheese.
We got the pork, chicken, and beef that you could see through the package. That was for rich folks. I'm talking about the pork, chicken, and beef that say it on the package, in the bag. Pork, chicken, and beef. flour, sugar, butter bags. When they were selling that government cheese.
And made the best grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yeah, that melted. But that I don't know what's up with that other stuff, that Craftsman stuff. It don't melt at all. I'm talking about the generic Craftsman.
What I'm saying
don't buy
is
that.
that
It's pasteurized.
what you don't do now, you guys don't introduce your kids about real life stuff.
Yeah.
And one time I sent them to and I know my oldest daughter remembers this because the second oldest was kind of young. I sent both of them. They went to the Pick and Save on 124th and Capitol. We stayed on 38th and Carl right off of Flores. And I sent them with $500 in stamps. And I said, I need y'all to go there because there's certain things that these babies need that the other store did not sell. Now, I'm sending them with $500 in stamps. Now, they excited. They can buy this, they can buy that, they can buy all this. What they did not remember is that they got to ride the bus home. Mm-hmm. So they bought all that heavy stuff, including gallons of milk. And the bus let them off on Capitol. But there was no bus that came towards our house.
Right.
So when they got on the 30, and the 30 brought them to the corner, they still had 4 blocks to walk before they got home. So my girls are dragging gallons of milk. They're dragging bags. They're dragging diapers. They're dragging wipes. They're dragging groceries. And you know what happened? My girls drive. Mm-hmm. They got driver's licenses. Mm-hmm. They drive.
Yep.
And my daughter that lives in Atlanta, she don't carry bags. She don't like carrying bags. Period. My daughter that lives here in Milwaukee, she will call her Uber in a minute when she goes shopping.
Any car I want.
And she will not carry bags. Nope. And people say, you messed them kids up. No, I did not. I gave those kids a dose of reality. Because when kids sit up in your face and tell you you're not doing this right, and they go buy all that stuff that everybody likes, they realize,
don't want to carry.
Right. They realize that was a mistake. It was okay for you to buy it. I told them, y'all can buy whatever y'all want.
Instead of learning that shit at 30 years old.
Yeah.
I rather would learn it then. Not to put myself in a situation where I can't get home. Put myself in a situation where I can't feed myself. I've been with your ass 8 hours and we ain't ate. You're not finna treat me like that. I'm finna have my own money. I'm finna have my own transportation. Because I don't ever want you to think that you the reason why I survive out here in this world.
And then she realized that she couldn't let her siblings cook their own food. She had one
People
brother.
People dog you when you ain't got your own money.
She had one brother that fixed 7 hot dogs and had 7 hot dog buns.
And couldn't pay for it to replace it.
And then another brother made 12 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and ate all of them. And then I came home and she said, Mama, what happened to the bread? I said, Corey had 12, my son had 12 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Your oldest brother had 7 hot dogs. Your other brother had made him some toast with cheese. She said, Mama, that was all the loaves of bread. I said, how many loaves you buy? I only bought 3. I said, what did I say? You said buy 6. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And they didn't care about the bread being squashed. They ate it anyway. Then my girls cooked. They fried 2 chickens. They made a chocolate cake. They made a big gigantic can of corn and a big gigantic can of greens. And they fed everybody. And they fell asleep because they were tired. They woke up. There was no food. And the dishes wasn't washed.
Oh,
and the kitchen wasn't clean.
About that.
And the bathroom was nasty because they all had to baths. It was towels everywhere. And they left the baby in the tub. And she was in the tub screaming. And she's tall now, but at the time she was really short. And she's screaming, Daddy, Daddy, because she couldn't get out the tub. And you know where the rest of them was all at? Outside. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so my daughters said to me, Mama, who gonna clean up the house? I said, I just got off from work. Y'all were in charge. It's y'all job. Y'all got to take accountability for what y'all done. And then they both said.
And that's a write up at work. You don't wrap up.
Right.
Whatever the process is to wrap up your task for the day, you get wrote up for that.
And then what I told them
that's what it taught us. It wasn't about, we needed a father in the house. We truly did, but we didn't need no toxic nigga in the house, and that's who kept coming. So that had to stop. I'm just going to say that.
And then after that...
Because where was the father? You know you got people. They're going to say, where was the father?
He was with his other family.
Woo.
He was with his other family, his pretty family.
And we didn't run off of what he did.
Right.
Time don't wait for nobody.
And then you know what happened after that?
Had to get it moving.
6 o'clock that night, I called everybody in the house and we had a family meeting, and they hated them family meetings.
But you know what them family meetings did? I'm able to do this podcast. We've been on 89 minutes, sitting in one spot, focused attention on the topic, focused attention on the speakers and what we're articulating and what we're trying to do, doing research, sitting in rooms with important people that are having this problem and trying to work it out. I can sit in a conference 2.5 hours getting information
And be okay.
that the world doesn't use, that the world doesn't know about. Because they won't invest in themselves to get in a room with people that are better than them and that they are there to help you get more knowledge so that you can survive better in society and stop being with this broke shit. I'm just going to keep it 100.
And they were mad at me. They didn't like sitting in the
It changed the way we look at things that move this country.
And they were mad at me. I'm going to be honest.
It was very irritating. I don't want to do this. I want to be
Jeremiah's
a kid. I want to be on my phone. I want to play my game real quick. I want to go outside. I don't want to hear that.
And I didn't care about
But that was a child's mentality. That's what they own.
Right.
And in life, as an adult, you have to understand, with some people, that's what they own. They're not interested in research. They're not interested in investing in themselves. All they about doing is kicking it. And that's what it taught me. I'm not going to sit on this motherfucking platform, excuse my French, and I ain't trying to go there ghetto, but I got to get a little dirty with it.
Right.
Because it's some of y'all that straight hood, straight street, give it to us raw. And in some of them, you may hurt my feelings if you say motherfucker. I can't help you with that. I'm going to come real, I'm going to come raw, and I'm going to come practical, and I'm going to come like it need to be said, the reality of it. Because that's what we're in.
Right.
This fantasy shit has destroyed us. This watching the television too much has destroyed us. We are paying for a service to entertain us. It's not teaching us. What you won't pay for is to help you with your relationship. Right. You won't invest into that. But you'll keep watching TV with a bunch of goofies teaching you how to be more stupid. You'll get on social media and watch goofies teach you how to be more stupid. And they teaching you your kids that stupid ass shit. And you want somebody else to teach your kids stupid ass shit when you right there and you can do the same?
You need to work on your relationships with your children as well.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say.
It's very important.
It's okay.
And it's also top priority.
It's okay to say that you don't know how to work on your relationship with your kids. It's okay to say that.
It's okay to ask for help too.
But I'm going to tell you something. What those meetings did for me is that they kept my house in peace. Yeah. Because my kids would say, you better not do nothing stupid because I'm not trying to be in another meeting with mama.
I don't do nothing stupid to get me wrought up or fired because we going to have a problem. You going to get wrought up and fired. Business. Strictly business. Because it's all of that. That's how this country is built. That's how this country is ran. This is how it goes. Right. One is not separate from the other. You got to cultivate relationships to get in business with somebody, to be able to be mentally capable of working with somebody, their ups, their downs, their failures, their this and that. Is that still a good partner? Is it a liability or is it an asset? With family, is it a liability or an asset? Are you a toxic father or are you an encouraging father?
And are you a toxic mother?
A toxic mother, I was going to say. Yeah. And vice versa.
And not only that.
It's an organization. Do you want poison in your organization? Is your organization about evil or is your organization about good? Which you got to pick one. You can't do both because it's lacking. Something's always in the balance, like trust, generosity, kindness, the stuff that we was talking about earlier. That's lacking because you focused on the wrong shit.
Let me tell you something.
And you're not investing into your relationship.
These kids that you're arguing with and having difficulty with are the same kids that used to run through the door when they were in kindergarten and couldn't wait for you to see their picture that they drew and you had no idea what the hell it was.
And it was for you.
And it was for you. And those kids, that mentality is still down on the inside of them. And what you do is when you see your child displaying a gift, you exercise that gift. Yes. Because you know what I did with her, with Boss Lady? And she will tell you. Yes. I snapped all over the dude. When she did not get her award at the time I thought she should get it. I said, I'm taking my ass all the way to New York if you don't get that award. All that stuff, all my radios, all my speakers and stuff you fucked up over the years and you ain't got your award, he got me real messed up. I mean, I was heated.
She saw me do the work.
I saw her do the work when I
behind
was
the
also
scenes,
kids.
not just when I make
This
a
girl
show.
started as a baby with nothing but blocks.
No headphones, no
And
microphone,
no headphones.
no nothing, no studio,
No
none of that.
Bluetooth. No YouTube. No none of that. Just
This is
in
not
her room
scripted, bro.
with
Sis,
a play
this ain't
telephone with
scripted.
eyeballs, with a fake TV that you have to turn the button to make the
I
make
put
the
my
picture
hands
move.
in it, bro.
She was
Sis,
doing that since she was 4.
every 84. I'm really celebrating 50 years of hip hop. I was in it too as a kid when hip hop wasn't even considered music.
And I told her, I said, I want a gold record. I want some trophies. She did exactly everything that she would promise me she would do. If your child has a talent, Michael Jackson's father might not have been the greatest father,
Come on
but
now.
he did push those kids to their full potential.
Yeah.
And that's not what we're doing. If you got a son that's sitting up there drawing pictures and you saying, man, one day he's going to be an artist, push him to that. They have art classes all summer long. for
Spend the
kids.
money.
And spend
Invest.
the money. Invest in your child.
Do it.
Because I have invested in her. I have gotten on her. I have
I
pushed
put
her.
my daughter on my record label.
Right,
I have made sure that her music gets shared.
right. You have to do that. You have
Put
to
her
push your
on because
kids.
she can sing.
I have a daughter that's good
and she
at,
can write music.
right. I have a daughter that's good at electronics. I don't play with her. What you going to school for that for? That ain't what you good at.
You know how to do that already.
Yeah, go to school.
Go to school
and
to
get paid for
get
something
master
you know how
it.
to do.
Or go to school to master it.
Do that, but stop trying to keep and stop
The
telling
devil.
them. Stop trying to tell these kids that it's okay for them to be kids. No, prepare them now. If you got a business, if it's a daycare, they should be in there working in your business. They should be sweeping floors. They should be wiping off tables. They should be in the kitchen, fixing the food, preparing the food, all the rest of that. They should be working in there. Because let me tell you something. You best believe them other groups, them Asians, them white folks, all these other ethnic groups, they kids is working for them. You better know it. We the only ones gonna make our kids, nah, they too little. No, they not too little. They got a boy that's running a multi-million-dollar company with his chocolate chip cookies and his mama worked for him.
Yep.
We need to start doing that. We don't make our kids do nothing. All they do
Yep.
is lay on their phones. They lay on their phones. They lay on their
Being dumb,
they
like
lay
I
down
said,
to eat.
being
They-
dumb.
They lay down. They even these kids. I done seen kids on YouTube. They so lazy. They lay down to get dressed for school.
Yep.
They and it's surprising that they take showers.
And there's some grown women that told me they can't put heels on standing up. They got to sit down and do it.
Yeah,
I know how to do it without standing up.
I know how to put heels on standing up too. And then you got your daughters going to school with their butts all out. They pants is sagging. They dressing like dudes. But then you
Because their clothes don't fit. And you don't teach them the proper protocol and process of how to situate your apparel where it looks right on you.
And not
I can't
only that,
stand it.
if your daughter
It
is a
looks
size
stupid.
13,
It looks
stop
dumb.
buying her a size 2.
Go ahead.
Stop buying her a size 2. If she wears a size 13, she wears a size 13. Teach her how to embrace her thickness.
Right.
It's okay if she's a big girl.
And plus size is thriving now, so you shouldn't have a problem with that.
My mama was plus size. You couldn't tell my mama she wasn't cute. My mama thought she was fine as wine. You could not tell my mother she wasn't attractive. Because if you tell my mother, oh, you look good, she'd be like, I know it. That's how you should have your little girl. It's the little girl where I work at. Every day she come in there, she looks so nice. I said, you look so nice. She said, I be trying my best. And she said, heads up to me because I'm lit. And she ain't but 7. So imagine her in 10 years when she turns 17, she going to be lit for real.
Right.
See, what we're doing is we're letting our daughters think that it's okay for them to be hardcore and be dudes. Look, if you want to act like a nigga and then expect me to open the door for you, you got it twisted. If you want to act more like a dude, I'm not going to open the door for you. What about you open the door for me?
Right.
How about that? And anyway, he didn't respect her as a woman. He hit her in the face. Well, she punched him in the face.
Disrespect is disrespect.
Exactly. And then you tell your kids if somebody hit you, hit them back. But you didn't say don't hit a girl, though, did you?
I was watching a young lady on YouTube, and y'all may be familiar with her, that broke this incident down when people fight and they can't master their emotions, because that's where that's coming from. Look at it like this. You out, you fighting with that you hit me first mentality. Police got called. You know who the hell they gonna lock up first? the one that hit back.
Yeah.
Now you got resisting arrest. You got assault of a deadly weapon, probably. You probably got manslaughter. You probably got, just assault, all kind of little charges that you could have prevented if you didn't get offended by what somebody said to you or done to you. The minute she smacked you, the minute you should have been on your phone with your camera recording what's going on.
And
just like they do when the other race is messing with you. But you won't do that with your own and hold yourself back and keep your hands to yourself. But what you got to look at is what escalated to her slapping you. What did you provoke her or him or her to do that to you? What made you feel like you could be disrespectful, but you didn't expect somebody to do back what you did to them? And how in the hell do you get somebody back for something and they ain't do nothing to you? Because a lot of fights be for that. You got it made up in your own mind with the voices that's going on in your own head. And I used to tell my deceased friend this. Some of that crap be coming from your own head. Nothing's happening. God woke you up this morning. It's sun shining outside. Your phone might be ringing and stuff like that, like normal sounds in the air. But ain't nobody shooting outside. Ain't nobody coming at you.
Right, just like your grandma.
And you wake up full of anger. Like somebody just punched the shit out of you and there was nothing you could do, so you snapping now. You felt violated. What got you to that point is what you was thinking about.
And not only that,
what you wasn't working with mentally. You didn't give yourself a mental health check before you started dealing with people. My phone busting it open right now. I'm doing something right now. I'm going to get back to you later. I don't always have time for that. I don't always have a moment to speak to you about your toxic bullshit. I don't always have a moment. I'm working on what I'm working on. And to keep from getting into it with you by impulsively not comfortable and cutting off what I'm doing and focus on you, that's why a lot of arguments be happening. Because people don't be honest about where they at.
And let me tell y'all this. I noticed that a lot of parents nowadays have decided to side with their children. Y'all used to be kids yourself.
You don't hit them back because you're going to jail just like that one that hit you going to jail.
And y'all know that kids lie. Y'all know that. What y'all need to do is when y'all kids be outside and they get into it with a neighbor's kid, you tell the kids to shut up. And you and the adults talk. And y'all ask the kids what happened.
Right.
Because sometimes the one that's be hyped up, it be your child to be starting stuff. Stop thinking that your kid ain't starting nothing. Because if he starts stuff in the house, he definitely going to start stuff outside.
And shout out to the parents that know they damn kids. Right. And had a problem with another kid. You know what? I done had that same problem with myself. Like I had a problem with a neighbor my mama was friends with daughter. And we got into numerous fights about whatever. Because I felt like she was just picking on my siblings. And I didn't like that. So I beat her up a couple times. And she had some hands on me and vice versa. And come to find out, not only was kids tired of her bullying, but an adults in the neighborhood and they kids was tired of the bullying. And so was this person's mother.
So she came and congratulated my child. She said, thank you. Because if I had done it, they would have locked me up.
Yeah. I thought I was going to get locked up because I went to their property to beat her up.
And nobody
because I didn't care.
Everybody
you don't disrespect my family like that. I was at that yo mama's, and that's fighting words. Back in the day, yo mama was fighting words.
It ain't like
there was no talking.
They don't do that now. Kids don't respect their home life.
Their organization.
They respect their friends.
Their relationships.
Let me tell you about that.
See?
Kids don't even understand what true friendship really is because they don't see it portrayed and act out at home.
Right. They don't know what loyalty is.
To a lot of people, my kids as well, when they were younger, not at the age they are now, and my family, saw me as a punk because they thought that I tolerated a lot of stuff. But I was not a punk. I was just a very kind person that got mistreated a lot.
You got bullied.
And I didn't know it was bullying until I got older and my kids sat me down and had to really, really talk to me.
And I told her, I didn't think you was a punk. I told her, you were a victim of bullying.
Right.
Because I got bullied in school because I had long hair and I was dark-skinned. And the only ones that was supposed to have long hair and in a pretty shape was light-skinned girls.
Right.
I was in that era. Light skin versus dark skin wasn't supposed to have good hair. Dark skinned girls supposed to have nappy hair and ugly. Even we wouldn't even buy black Barbie dolls because their hair was nappy and they was too dark. The pretty girls was the light skinned chicks, the white girls, the real light skinned women.
Well, shout out to the doll industry, because I'm telling y'all, them black dolls y'all making now is the bomb.
I swear they is so cute. Round of applause on that. Mm-hmm. Barbie, you the shit.
But let's also say this: what we have to start doing is stop teaching our kids about the Barbie and Ken lifestyle. First of all, the dream house is not a reality. Okay, Barbie and Ken never talked about Barbie and Ken as being married. They talked about Barbie as being an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. Okay, Ken was a boyfriend.
Right. Ken
never became Barbie's husband.
Right.
They got Barbie pregnant. Ken got Barbie pregnant, so they say. But she still never married him. They don't have Barbie in a wedding dress.
And Barbie is the head of the household as well.
Amen. But because of our lack of knowledge with relationships, this is the reason why we go through what we go through. Because we refuse to get the knowledge. And the Bible clearly states that our people perish for lack of knowledge. It didn't say we die. It says we perish. We don't have the knowledge that we need to make our relationships work because we refuse to go and get it. You might as well sit in the house with an empty refrigerator. Because if you refuse to go get the food, who do you think gonna feed you?
And that same thing with relationships.
Feed America ain't come to your house. The church.
And so is not Ayanna Fix My Life either.
She ain't coming either. And you got to pay her to come.
Period.
Now, she may reach out to you on some comments or something like that, but if you really want her to fix your life, you got to pay her. Them people that's on her show,
it comes with
they pay her.
But you paid to do that wedding.
Yeah.
You paid to get them rings. Why you can't keep paying to keep your relationship alive? I'm really trying to understand that. You want to do it for free, but you didn't do it for free to get together. Explain that to me.
Let me tell you
I don't understand that shit. I don't.
Stop, please, women. Don't care who you are. Stop giving your bodies away like they Skittles. You're giving your bodies away to Milk Duds. You ever seen Milk Duds and Skittles in the same box? No, you haven't.
Yeah,
why y'all keep doing that? Y'all doing too much.
Why you not investing into your relationship like you invested into that wedding? I'm still trying to understand that.
Y'all so quick to get these men a roll in the hay, but they can't even afford to buy the soap to wash your butt with. But y'all want to sleep with them. And then after it's over with, it ain't all that. But you see another girl that's interested in him. Well, it wasn't all that, but she can't have him. Why can't she have him? He wasn't that good. The relationship, the part that you do in the bed is not the most important thing. It's what happens when y'all feet hit the floor.
Amen, sister.
They got this thing that they say, when a gazelle gets up early in the morning in the wilderness, he has to run faster than any animal out there in the wilderness to keep from getting eaten. And when the lion wakes up in the morning, he has to run faster than anything in the wilderness so that he won't go hungry. So the bottom line to that is, when you get up in the morning, you got to hit the floor running. Because you're going to either get eaten up or you're going to starve. So it's up to you what kind of relationship you want. That means that both of y'all got to hit the floor running. You ain't got time to be playing kissy poo and listen to sweet nothings in your ear. So what if he don't say good morning every day? So sometimes you ain't feeling it every day.
Right.
You ain't going to be in love every day. You ain't going to be in like every day. But you know you ain't going nowhere. This is my husband, and today we not feeling each other. Today is Monday. And on Mondays, we just ain't feeling each other. Maybe we'll be back in love tonight. But right now, we working on our family. We dealing with the kids. We dealing with our jobs. We dealing with our situations on our jobs and stuff. We dealing with other stuff. Right now, we ain't got time to be kissy poo.
And never forget that you're colliding the lives you were living before you got together. It is going to be a lot. But that's where the learning curve comes in. When you got to be able to combine those lives and run it smoothly like you did when you were by yourself. And that's learned skill. That's not that's just not something you gonna know how to do. You know how to do it by yourself. Now you got to learn how to do it with another person and the lifestyle that they had and be able to collaborate. Like, for instance, companies now are collaborating with other companies. They were one company, but they had two separate stores. Now companies are starting to understand that it's more money and more revenue and more customers if we collide in one store. And they're still the same business. They're still the same organization, but now they're one. Couples need to do the same process. And I'm telling you, the possibilities, the fulfillment that you're going to feel when you're able to be genuine, kind, and vulnerable, like we talked about earlier, you will have the best relationships in the world. And you can be mad pissed off at each other and still able to stay together. That's a relationship. That's the relationship. Because you really ain't mad. Because when you're mad at him, you're really mad at yourself. When you're mad at her, you're mad at yourself. Because your company is one now. Because it was more feasible to have everything the customer can get to in the same store.
And I don't care if you ain't got a driver's license, if you ain't got a marriage license. The bottom line is you are still a couple. So you are still working for the same company and for the same goal. So stop sitting up in the house talking about, well, he ain't nothing but my boyfriend and we ain't talked in a week. If you ain't talked in a week, somebody need to leave. Somebody need to leave. Because God is going to hold y'all accountable for the way y'all treat each other. Mm-hmm. And if you can't get along with yourself, why the hell are you in a relationship?
Right.
Because if you don't like you, what make you think everybody else is supposed to like you?
Right.
Why do you think I got out of relationships? I didn't even like myself. Mm-hmm. I got out of relationships. I had to work on Bobby. What are you doing now? I'm still working on Bobby. You know, Bobby is a work in progress, okay? I found out a lot about Bobby. First of all, I found out that I'm a sandwich person. I love sandwiches. Mm-hmm. I love hamburgers. I love subs. I love sandwiches. I love chicken, but I love good chicken. That's why I learned how to fry chicken good. I love seasoned fries. I am not a steak lady. I don't like steak. And I have nothing against it. I've had steak before. It just ain't my cup of tea. And that's all I'm saying. I love sitting in front of a TV, watching a movie with a big gigantic bowl of popcorn and the best lemonade you can make, which I think is mine. But that's my stuff. I can sit and watch movies after movie after movie after movie. But that's what I love. Mm-hmm. And that's what calms me down. That's what gives me my inner peace. I've learned what to do and how to make myself calm down. Now
that you're in a relationship, now you got to learn how to do that with your person.
Yeah. Even if y'all got to take a bath together and sit there and get those quiet, they got they got Calgon, Take Me Away.
They got Dr. Teal, child.
You put that stuff in the tub, you and your husband, y'all sit there. And just, you don't even have
get
to
a glass
say
of wine and just chill.
And if you don't drink wine, you get some sparkling grape juice. Make sure it's cold. And just turn on some quiet jazz music or some rain music and just sit there and enjoy each other's company.
Or just quiet.
And just shut
like you used to do by
up.
yourself. You would go to the park. You would sit there and just quiet.
And I'm going to tell you something else you can do. I seen a couple do this. Y'all can sit there in the tub. And you can have a book and he can have a book. And they can be two different subjects. Just the fact that y'all are in the room together, enjoying each other's company is all you need.
AirPods in the ear, on your phone, doing something.
Every orgasm
that sounds like a good idea, Mom. I like that.
Every orgasm that you get with your husband does not have to come from a sexual encounter.
Because most of y'all relationships is based on sex.
And y'all need to get off of that. Because you can walk through a park with your man. And just the fact that you are hugging him and holding hands.
That's a real date.
That's a real date. But not only that.
Oh my God.
The fact that you can sit there across from your mate and y'all can sit there and hold each other's hands or give each other massages. Well, baby, let me rub your feet today. Well, let me rub yours. Who says y'all got to have pretty feet? Y'all alone. You can sit there and draw him a bath and say, baby, I just want to wash you up today. Or I want to wash your back. Or I want to wash your feet. And then he'll give you the same thing in return. That's your flowers right there. Mm-hmm. Or he might want to paint your toenails, his favorite color. Aww. That's your candy.
But if you ain't into it, don't get all ecstatic. I don't do it. Okay.
I'm not touching nobody's feet.
Okay.
You know what? Get past all of that.
Fine.
Get past all of that.
Do something that you like.
Get past all that. Learn to love each other naked. Yeah, I married a girl. She got a bump on. She got a bump on her butt. But you know what? She done had that bump so long. I'm loving that bump. Because when I rub my baby on her butt and I feel that bump, I know that's my girl.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's my girl. I can love her bump if I want to.
All right.
That's mine. And my man, he got this knot on his ear. But I love that knot. Because I know when I'm walking through a room and I see that knot, I know that's my man.
Mm-hmm.
I know a couple that's still married today. They got married in 1979 when we graduated high school. And they can be in the same room together. And they love each other so much that if the room is crowded, she knows that he's there. And he knows that she's in there. And their love draws them to each other. Same thing I said
earlier. They know.
They know each other.
They know.
They know each other in an intimate way.
Yes.
And intimate does not always mean sexual.
It doesn't.
But because we have been so programmed by the European society and by our own ideologies of what we think life is, that's why God don't like idols. Because we're idolizing stuff that's not realistic.
Right.
Stop reading them stupid books. They make books about black people now. Read those.
And black relationships.
Read those. Read those. Somebody should write a book. I'm not in it for the money.
That's a good title. I like that. I like that.
Somebody should write a book. It's not all about you, boo.
Well, why don't you write it?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We doing too much.
We waiting on it.
We
want to read that.
Because that's why you hear motivational speakers say that the richest place in the world is the graveyard. Because that's where all the books, movies, songwriters, movie makers, they never wrote these things because of fear. Mm-hmm. Fear stagnates our growth. It stagnates us as a people. We can't think when we're afraid. We can't function when we're afraid. And nobody can tell me how she knows what she's talking about because I lived my life in fear. Mm-hmm. I raised my kids in fear. I was married in fear. I grew up in fear because I was scared of my own shadow. When I was a kid, I could look behind me and see my shadow, and I was so freaked out I thought somebody was following me, and it was my shadow.
That spirit of prevention is strong.
And I'm telling you something. When that spirit of negativity gets on you, that's not easy to get rid of.
It's not, none of them.
Because you can be as spiritual as you want to be. But until you get a deep connection with God, you can't get them spirits off of you. Because God is stronger than any spirit.
And you got to fast from that drama that gives off them kind of spirits. And fasting is not just about food.
It's not. It's not.
Fasting is getting rid of them toxinities that be coming off of people.
And you gotta understand.
I mean, for good. Don't call them back. Don't reach out to them. Don't answer their phone calls. Block them from your social media. I mean, cut them off.
And when you pick up the phone,
period,
and you got good energy, and you call one of your girlfriends, and you say, "Hey, girl, you want to go out to eat? You want to just kick it for a little while? I'm off from work. I'm really having a good day." Yes. And then she say, "Girl, I'm going through. Oh, I gotta go. One of my kids is calling me." I used to do that a lot. Because one thing you're not going to do is put your bad energy into my good energy. First of all, I done made some lemonade. You're not going to pour vinegar into my lemonade.
Instead of saying what you said out of fear, why you didn't say what you just said? Directly. Why wouldn't you direct? That's your friend. Why you couldn't be direct? And just say, you're not going to screw up my energy today. That's not what I asked you. I asked you, did you want to go out to eat and kick it for a little while? Because that's what you asked.
Let me tell you something. At that time when she said that, I was working on me.
Okay.
And I did not have the time to talk to that negative spirit. I needed to get off the phone. Because
why you didn't say that?
I was not strong enough to deal with that negative spirit. And I couldn't say that because she was in a place where she would have took it as me saying I didn't want to be bothered with her.
But that's not your responsibility.
I didn't know that at the time.
Okay.
I did not know
I respect that. Okay.
I did not know that at the time.
Okay.
So all I was doing was taking accountability for my stuff because I didn't have time to be her savior and mine too.
Exactly. Okay.
So I needed to get off the phone.
You didn't know about it.
No.
So you're not accountable for it. Okay.
Because I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't grow up in a relationship family home where people was talking to me and explaining stuff to me. That's why as mad as my kids get, I tried to break down and explain stuff to them. I have taken accountability for the way I raised my kids. I have told my kids that I am sorry. I said, your mama was in a bad spot, and I did not know what the hell I was doing. My kids looked at me like I was crazy.
Because we was kids.
And as they got older and the commercial went off, like I used to tell them, and life kicked in,
right.
They got it.
Real quick.
They said, Mama, how did you go through life with all of us? I don't even have as many kids as you got, and I'm going through so much. I don't get how you was able to survive. Grace and mercy of God. That's Jeremiah.
All right.
Grace and mercy of God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going to help with her dermatitis, because that's oatmeal. We doing a show. Did you pause it? Pause it.
One moment, please.
All right, we are wrapping up the last of the relationship piece. We pray that everybody will get some information out of this that'll be useful for them. But let me be honest and say, and I know Boss Lady will agree with me, if what we said is not your vibe, that's fine. If what we said did not work for you, that's fine. But whatever works for you, do the work. That works for everybody.
Right.
Just do the work.
Yes.
If he likes Skittles and you like Milky Ways, do the work. You buy him some Skittles, he buy you some Milky Ways. Do the work. Stop expecting flowers and candy every day. Stop expecting sweet nothings in your ear every day. Y'all looking for too much.
And be his friend first, y'all.
Exactly. Stop trying to be lovers.
That friendship piece, and not the friend zone, and that's another episode.
Right.
The difference between friends and becoming into a relationship versus friend zone, where you just sit him to the shelf him basically.
And we got something
or
for
shelf
that.
her basically.
We got something for that too.
Yeah.
And remember one thing, I'm older than Boss Lady. And one thing I would tell you, you want to have a relationship where when you get up in age, that when your man holds your hand, you have an orgasm. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of relationship.
Because the bodies break down, bodies can't do it no more. So what you gonna do with that time?
Yeah.
Is you gonna stay married past that time?
Right.
Is that the goal? So there's always a goal in place in terms of what you're trying to get to. This is the rest of your life we talking about, y'all. The rest of your life, not spend the night. And we out of here. And that's basically all we had to say. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. We will be uploading this at 5 p.m. today. Boss Lady Radio will have a show Monday night, birthday night. Boss Lady. I might make it a ladies' night. I'm not sure, but I know I'm going to give you a dope show as always. So stay tuned and follow me on... Oh, before I get to the follow me's and the social media, Mama Legend got something to say.
I wanted to just say a real quick prayer. It is Sunday.
Yes, ma'am.
It is Sunday. And I know that a lot of people out there probably don't pray about their relationships or their entrepreneurship as a marriage, as a business. I know a lot of people don't do that. So I don't want anybody that's non-spiritual or spiritual to get offended. This is not about you. We are praying for the podcast, and we are not praying to offend anybody, because this is what we believe. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to accept the prayer. You don't even have to go along with the prayer. Just know that we are praying for you ourselves. This is not something we're forcing you to do, because we can't enforce our religious beliefs on anyone. Mm-hmm. Jesus didn't do it. We're not going to do it.
That's right.
This is the thing that I want everybody to understand, that God is still God. And he loves us all. And when his son was nailed to that cross, he just didn't die for certain people. He died for everybody. So this prayer is for everybody. I don't care what race, creed, color, nationality, or whatever walk for life you came from. Whether you are living on the streets with a tin can, or you have a business where you make the tin cans. This is for everybody. So dear Father God, in the name of Jesus, we declare and decree on today that everybody that has this inner relationship will no longer struggle. They will put in the work that needs to be done. We will declare and decree on today, Lord, that they will not make their relationships about them, but about the other person.
Amen.
We declare and decree on today, Lord, that they will understand that their relationships is a business.
Yes, ma'am.
And it requires cooperation from the company. to make it run smoothly.
Amen.
We declare and decree on today, Lord, that we trust you to cover our relationships.
We're working on it right now.
We declare and decree, Lord, on today that we will have better relationships.
Yes, ma'am.
With a different mindset.
Amen.
We declare and decree on today that most importantly, we will do the work that needs to be done.
Need some fresh wind.
We declare and decree on today, Lord, that we will put in the work.
Yeah.
And that if we fall short, that we will call on you to help lift us back up.
That's right.
And Lord God, if we can't fix it, we declare and decree on today, Lord, that you will send the help we need to fix it.
It's in your hands at the end of the day. Yes.
Lord, those of us that have stood before you, and we have decreed to you that let no man put us under. We trust that you will cover our marriage, our relationships, our entrepreneurships, our businesses, whether they are online or in person, whether we have buildings or whether we are virtual, Lord. We will trust that you will cover us in your name, Jesus.
Today. Yes,
we will stop making everything from the top of our head to our toenail about us.
Amen.
We will stop being narcissistic in our thinking.
Amen.
We will start opening up our minds, our hearts to education. We will start researching what we don't know.
Amen.
And we will start letting go of what we do know because a lot of it is wrong.
That's right. Unlearn.
So we need to open up a whole new avenue.
To relearn.
Because COVID taught us what we did not know. And it hit like a mighty wind.
My God.
And stop looking for your life to go back to the way it used to be. Because used to be is what's getting us in trouble. We need to get out of that. We need to focus on what's going on right now. So help me fix what's going on right now, Lord. Give me a fresh wind, not just in my life, but in my thinking. Because my thinking is clogged by my yesterday. And today is the day that we thought we would not never see.
A new day.
This is a day we've never seen before.
The day you made.
This is a day that wasn't promised to us.
The day you declared and decreed.
Yes. And we're doing too much. Some of us have done too much already and it ain't even 12 o'clock.
And doing it without you.
And we're doing it without you, Lord. Who says that you got to be on your knees in a certain position? This is God.
Two or more, three and agree.
Jesus prayed to him on a cross. Nailed with blood running from his body and his side. We're doing too much. We're doing too much in the churches. We're doing too much in the synagogues. We're doing too much in the halls. We have still got God all over the place.
And we ain't doing enough with you.
And we are not depending on his word. And we're not studying his word. We're not getting a deeper meaning of who God is. We're letting other people tell us what kind of God we serve. The Bible is for everybody and everyone. Whether you read the Holy Quran or the Holy Bible, read it.
In a voice, spirit.
That is our instruction manual on how to get through life.
Basic instructions before leaving
thinking that you can do it on your own. David had the world's baddest kids. And God said that David was a man after his own heart. Why? Because David's heart was open to God. He told God everything. You are vulnerable to the wrong people. Open up your heart and be vulnerable to God.
Help us, Father.
And learn to find people that can love you naked. Because when you get in the mud with a pig, all you're going to do is get dirty.
Period.
But when you get in the mud and God pulls you out, you're going to be white as snow. Our God is a loving God. He's a trusting God. He is faithful. And he has proven over and over again from Genesis to Revelations, he has proven that he is faithful. And love, remember that love has never changed.
Amen.
Love has never disappointed us.
Amen.
We have disappointed love.
Yes, ma'am.
Reach out to Boss Lady. Because I'm telling you, there are some old movies that I know about that will change your way of thinking.
Amen.
But God has been so good. And he has been so faithful to all of us. And he has blessed us even when we did not deserve the blessings.
Mm-hmm.
So be grateful for the family you got, because you could have got worse. So today, we declare and decree, Lord, that we thank you for what we have. And if you don't give us nothing else, you've done enough. In Jesus' name,
more than
amen.
enough. Amen. You can follow me on Boss Lady D on Facebook, Boss Lady on Facebook, Instagram. You can follow me at NUCKDDSKI. Also Boss Lady D on Instagram, Twitter, NUCK Boss Lady. You know what I'm saying? And connect with me, get with me. Campaigns are starting at $100 for people that want to promote, invest in themselves to make their business thrive. I am the woman to see. If you a musical artist, a musician, a band, and you want to radio interviews and marketing and promotion and have people find you where they want to connect with you and help you thrive in your music career, get at me. Boss Lady 95895@gmail.com. We'll see you Monday night, 9 p.m. Central on Boss Lady Radio. Let's get it, y'all. Y'all have a great Sunday. Good day. Bye now.